Om Namah Shivaya, Asinist Fire here on Way of Dharma. I don't know what to call this title, but yeah, we are going to talk about science, the science of Tantra, also known as the science of Magick practically. So yes, let's continue. If you are new to this channel, please make sure that you subscribe and make sure that you like to make sure that YouTube recommends the video to you next time, and I'm definitely sure that you will like what I'm about to tell you. So what does the word science mean? Let's get into it. The word science means to know, basically. So saying science, you're talking about knowing something, basically. So not this religion of some other groups of talking about the periodic table, the compounds, and some physics class things. That's merely a religion based on theory and not practicality. But the real meaning of science means to know. So going further back into ancient times, we are talking about the science of Tantra, the science of Magick. What is that? Tantra comes from Tanoti and then Trayati. This means a tool or a method. You are given a mantra and a yantra to chant. A mantra is a diagram of deity, and then a mantra is a sound of deity. You are given both those things to conjure up a certain energy and direct it in a certain way to make sure that you get your required results. In terms of magic, you are doing what? Finding elements in nature that match your intent and your thought, and then pairing them together to create about a physical result or maybe a desired, required result. So that's Tantra and Magick. So going into science of Tantra, what are you trying to know exactly? Tantra, when you are doing the science of Tantra, you are merely making sure that you gather certain elements from nature, certain diagrams of deity, and certain sounds that represent that deity, and then putting all those things together, also with the certain timing, meaning the planetary influences, the placement of the earth, the placement of the horoscope, and all that. You are doing that, you are aligning them all together to get a certain result. But it's also Tantra, okay? It's also basic Tantra. But saying that you want to know such things, calling it science of Tantra, what makes it special from Tantra, normal Tantra? I'm not creating something new, by the way, by saying that the science of Tantra. I hope you don't take it as the science of Tantra. I would never like to write such a book written the science of Tantra or the science of Magick. All those things are basically perfect in their aspect, and we shouldn't use terms from other places to try, from other systems to try and differentiate this, basically. So what I'm saying is the science of Tantra, you are doing what? You are basically doing all that, gathering the right herbs, gathering the right diagrams, conjuring the right sounds, and the placement of the horoscopes and the planets. You are basically putting them together to get a required result. But how is this different from normal Tantra? Normal Tantra of a normal person, a person would go about doing a ritual and then hoping that it would work. In the case of science of Tantra, you know that it will work because you are doing a prescribed way of doing so, a knowledgeable way. You are approaching it from a knowledgeable perspective. You are doing Tantra with knowledge that it will work. Why? Because you are doing the prescribed methods to make sure that it works. That's what makes it different from the normal person practicing occult. Okay, so I think now you get the picture. Same with Magick. Practicing Magick in that way, and then knowing that you will get a certain result. It's science of Magick, basically. We are trying to get to a point whereby we practice Magick efficiently and effectively to a point whereby we know that it will always work. In the case of my experience, I've seen that magic works only when you trust that it will work, basically. Even going as far as doing those elaborate rituals and trying to do all that, sometimes you don't have that time, sometimes it's not convenient. You have to work with what you have. So you understand what I'm talking about. Okay, let me sit in the perfecto way. Okay. Yes. So yes, that's what I'm referring to when I'm talking about science, basically. So when you get advanced, you will get at the point whereby your mind is very powerful and your will is strong to actually make sure that your ritual works all the time. But in actuality, the purpose of Tantra, the meaning of Tantra means method. So the purpose of Tantra is getting results all the time, basically. That's why you see all these elaborate rituals, maybe of the astrological placements, there are certain herbs required, and all that stuff. It's also the same case with magic, to make sure that you wait on a certain moon and you perform a certain rite, and then you do certain movements and gestures to make sure that you get a required result. Whereas if you were a normal lay person performing a ritual, something you didn't know, you would then expect results from something folly, basically. Yes, so that's the science of Tantra in a nutshell, the science of magic in a nutshell. Science means to know. So getting a science of an occult practice, you are merely making sure that you know every step of the way what you are doing to make sure that you know that the results will come about. Om Namah Shivaya, Asenest Fire, and I'd like to encourage you to actually practice this stuff, whether it's magic, whether it's Tantra, to actually see how the results come about. It will give you a sense of power to see that everything that we do is a result of our thoughts, a result of our actions. Ones we do in our ashrams, in our altars, and in our private space. So you will see that everything is a consequence of what comes out from inside of you. Om Namah Shivaya, Asenes Fire from the way of Dharma. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like, and make sure that you share this to somebody you want to give this knowledge. Thank you. It's a bit cold over here, so don't be surprised when I'm wearing these. And it's a Saturday. We should be doing a chant for Shani, the planet Saturn. So to make sure that we have all the forces aligned in our favor, to make sure that we triumph, to make sure that we neutralize and nullify the effects of bad karma. And I remember talking about the negative effects of Saturn, and some of you didn't understand. They said that Saturn doesn't have a negative side, basically, but everything in this plane of existence isn't dual. For a male, there's a female. For positivity, there's negativity. So everything is dual. It's not in the case of morality, evil or good. No, it's from a duality perspective. So I do hope some of you understand this along your journey to self-realization. Thank you.